Hey everybody, my name is Steven and welcome back to the Storytime channel. Without wasting any time, let's get into our stories of the day. A situation at a petrol station. So this happened to me about 3 to 4 years ago, but I still remember the situation whole and it still drives me to tears from laughter. So I was driving with my mom to see some other parts of my family and we were running low on petrol, so we stopped to get some. So as I was refueling the car, my mom went inside of the station to get some coffee and wait for my signal that the car is ready to go, so she can pay for the gasoline. The car is fueled, I give my mom sign and start washing the windshield. There is some equipment certainly for this on every station in Poland. I don't know how it is in other countries. And a man starts shouting at me. If I can finally freaking charge the owner of this freaking car for the gas they have fueled. I don't know how they could be so goddamn stupid to mistake two absolutely different distributors, the one with gasoline and diesel, with the one that serves gas, but still, somebody did it. As I want to open my mouth to say the magic line, man, I do not work here and I'm also still freaking 12, the dude started swearing at me even more and told me to fuel his car and that he should get a freaking discount due to my incompetence. What the freak? While moving his car about half a meter to go to the one and only gas distributor on the station. I say, man, I don't work here, I'm still 12. Which is true, but I look much older than I am because I am tall as freak and have a voice on the lower side. Yeah, and I am the freaking Queen Elizabeth. Could you hurry the freak up or I'm gonna get you freaking fired? He responded. At this point, I was freaking astonished. He wanted to tell the manager to fire a 12-year-old kid who was from absolutely freaking the other side of the country and wasn't even working here. At this point, when I looked at the guy, visibly confused, he said, "Or you know what, call your manager." I said, "Man, I don't work here. Did you understand what I said?" "You know what, freak you, I'll go get the manager myself." He goes inside of the station and starts shouting, "Is there a manager here? I have an employee who just insulted me and refuses to help me." At this point, I walk in there with a visible, "What the freak, man?" on my face. He looks at me and says, "See, I told you, I'll get the manager myself." And then my mom walks in. "Sir, what the freak? This is my son and he is 12. Mom, that's exactly what I said about 2 times, but he kept ignoring me." Then the cashier who appeared to be the manager due to the recent flu season, so none of the cashiers was available, says, "Yep, they are right. I can't fire somebody who didn't work here, at least in the first place." The man became all red and started saying some things like, "I forgot my wallet. Yes, my wallet. I will go pick it up." Runs away, get in the car, and quickly drove away. Funny thing is that he was driving the same direction as did I with my mom, and he was standing on the side of the road with a car that won't go any further without any fuel. It was about 30 kilometers from the station. I don't really understand who would lie about being 12 and not working at a place, so I don't understand why this dude wouldn't have some kind of consideration about it. Often mistaken for a Target employee. This has happened several times. Karen mistakes me for an employee because I was in red and khaki. Recently, 20-something dudes think the middle-aged lady in yoga pants sipping a Starbucks works there. The most notable, about 15 years ago, I was pregnant with my first. It was summer and I was miserable. Add to it that I am pretty nauseated the whole time I'm pregnant, and I was a super pleasant ray of sunshine. I'm always thrifty, but there was zero chance I wanted to pay a lot for maternity clothes I'd wear for a couple of months. I would hit the maternity store outlet and buy what was handy. I was pretty much always in a couple pair of capri pants or shorts, tops or whatever polos or tunics were on the rack. I'm at Target, pushing my cart and wishing I didn't want to puke. I stop at an end cap and I look over some items. I was in the back by housewares or electronics, miserable and trying to distract myself. Me is me, K is Karen, MGR is manager. "Are there any more of these?" Tugs at my elbow and shoves some item into my line of sight. Me snaps right back, pulling my arm away. How in the heck am I supposed to know? Not my usual way of talking to people, but she is lucky that I didn't throw up on her shoes. I go back to looking at my stuff and likely check my phone. Karen huffs and walks off. I've worked in a lot of retail in the past, so the tone was familiar, but I didn't realize why she had asked me. A few minutes pass, I'm still wandering around when I hear Karen, pointing like Donald Sutherland at the end of Body Snatchers, There, right there, that is her. That is the employee that was rude and swore at me. Manager furrows brow. That's her. Why aren't you doing? She was awful to me. Ma'am, this woman is a total stranger to me. I've never seen her before in my life. And she is not wearing a name tag. She also seems to have a purse on her shoulder and an empty cart. So I have to assume that she is a customer. Karen sputters. But she is wearing everything clicks for all of us. Yeah, I kinda look like I work here. Red t-shirt and khaki capris, but most stores don't allow flip-flops. Points at swollen ankles. I am also guessing most team members don't walk around with a big drink in their purse. Manager smiles and nods knowingly. Karen turns pale and mumbles what might have been an apology. The thing is, you came up and were really abrupt and snappy. That's no way to talk to anyone, let alone people who you are asking to help you. Karen turning crimson again like a raged chameleon. Well, you were wearing normal clothes that happen to be similar to a Target uniform, but that doesn't mean you should treat anyone like poop. Meet a manager. Have a great day. Manager, trying not to laugh. You too, ma'am. Karen turns on her heel, and I never see her again. Most recently, twice, right after Christmas and then a few weeks later, both times I am wearing black yoga pants and some sort of long sleeve tunic or hoodie in black or another dark color. Both times I am getting over oral surgery, pale, no makeup, hair in a messy bun, in the women's clothing area, sipping a tepid Starbucks drink, quietly talking to my friend on one earbud in my ear. Both times, this is the exchange. PTSYM, polite 20-something young man, me is me. Excuse me, ma'am, do you work here? No, I don't. Double checks my clothing. Young man is cringingly apologetic. I guess I'm just approachable and motherly. Not a lot of payoff, but it just seems to happen. I don't blame her for snapping, because if I was in her situation, I'd probably be snapping too. If this was you in the situation with the Karen, what would you say or what would you do? Let me know your choice words in the comments below. Go grab a box so you can take home your computer. Hey folks, just a short one. This story happened 3 weeks ago, just before our city went into enhanced community quarantine. I work in a call center and my dad works in a call center. Our offices are 2 separate buildings but are next to each other. He works night shift and I work day shift. I always go to my dad's office when I arrive so I can catch up with him and we talk, etc. To the story. I arrived at my office at 6:50 a.m. Shift starts at 8 but my dad gets off at 7 a.m. And after placing my things in my locker, I go outside. As I go outside, I stop walking to text my dad that I'll be waiting for him at the lobby of his office. This is when I get approached by an employee of his office who we'll call Gary. Hey there. Hey. Gary, silent for a moment. Did you grab a box already? Sorry, what? A box. Did you grab one already? What for? Didn't you read the email? So we can start working from home. At this point, I also thought Gary worked in my office under a different account. Oh, really? Great. Yeah, have IT set it up for you. Okay, thanks. I start heading back inside our office building. Wait. You don't work over at generic company name? No, I don't. I thought you worked over here at a different account. Oh, no, sorry about that. And Gary runs off. Wait, never saw Gary again. We did meet with my dad and I told him about it and had a laugh. Our office eventually did send us home the following week and now I'm working from home. Thanks for listening, stay safe, and stay healthy. Just a little bit of an awkward case of confusion. Makes a good story to tell. I'm not the priest, lady. I'm a 23-year-old guy from the Philippines, but people say I look a lot older for my age. I've been mistaken for a lot of things, including as a doctor, professor, and even a dad. But by far, the most common thing I've been mistaken for is a priest. It happens regularly that it's becoming a running joke. I'll just share a short story of the most shocking experience. I regularly go to confession in a church near my office. Since I take my lunch a bit late, I often get there around 1 p.m. One time, I decided to line up at the confessional and, as I approached, I saw it was just me and this old lady in line. We made eye contact and she smiled, stepped aside, and opened the confessional door for me. I figured she must have been an usher for the church. Great, no line. I kneel down and begin my confession. 5 minutes in, I realize, why hasn't the priest said anything? It's only then it dawns on me. There is no priest. I begin to wonder why the lady opened up the door for me. Just as I get up, the lady opens the door and goes, "Father, are you good for confessions now?" I sheepishly tell her I'm not a priest, and she profusely apologizes to me. I step out, we have a good laugh about it. Then I leave to come back another time when the priest's available. She's a regular at the church, and after this incident, I got to know her more. Sweet old lady and very charming. That's actually a pretty amusing mix-up to hear about. It's a lot different than a lot of the things you hear on this subreddit, and it's nice to hear they got to know each other a little more as a result of it. A wholesome I don't work here lady story. So for some context, I was spending the summer with my grandma and I was doing a lot of landscaping work for her. I was about 14, so she basically paid me by getting me a CD or a game whenever we went to Walmart or something like that. So one day, I'm browsing and stuff when this little old lady comes up to me and says, "Young man, where can I find blank CDs?" I've spent so much time there that summer that I know exactly where they are, so I just say, "Well, I don't work here, but I know where they are, so I'll show you." She goes on and on about being embarrassed as we walk over and says she's buying them for her grandson, so she doesn't even really know what she is looking for. So we get over there, I show her the blanks I'd always buy and explain why I think they're good, yada yada. She offered to buy my CD I was carrying around, but I refused. Yep, nothing special, but still one of my favorite moments of my life. It's a very sweet moment. I feel like I would also turn them down buying the CD for me that I was holding, but more because I'm just awkward and my brain would shut off and be like, no, thank you, that's enough. But definitely a lot more wholesome and OP situation. "I don't work here, sir." This involves my dad and I wasn't present when this all went down. This story will be short, but it's everything that he told me. Here's the cast. D is dad, RM is rude man, RL is rude lady. Anyways, my dad was browsing the electronics section of the Walmart he was grocery shopping at when he was approached by the rude man and rude lady. "Excuse me." Dad turning around to address the rude man. "Yeah? I need you to help me." "Oh, sorry, I don't work here." "Yes, you do. I've seen you here before. Now help me." My dad wasn't wearing anything that would indicate that he even worked at Walmart. He was wearing jeans and a Star Wars t-shirt. Not the blue vest an actual Walmart employee would wear. "No, I don't." Not having time for their poop, he proceeds to walk away from the rude man and rude lady while waving, and the rude lady decides to speak up. "Hey, you have to assist us. You work here." This is the end of my dad's encounter with the rude couple. The rude lady wasn't involved much in the story, but was still as rude as the rude man. My dad is a no-nonsense kind of guy, which is why the encounter isn't as long as most other encounters people have. I like his way of resolving the problem, just straight up dropping it and walking away. "See ya." That time, I wore a light blue button-down and a navy sweater to the airport. I took my friend to the airport, wearing what I thought was a perfectly reasonable outfit. Turns out, the workers at the airport wear the same colors, so two separate people assumed I worked there. One person asked for directions and seemed weirdly surprised that I couldn't give them. But I didn't catch on until I was helping my friend print luggage tags. I had been to the airport before, and some woman comes up behind me. I think she thought I was being unnecessarily chatty for work or something. "Excuse me, but when you're done, could you help me over here?" Sure, I guess, but I don't actually work here." She sputtered out an apology, and honestly, I found it funny to be mistaken for airport staff. Also, I finally understood the other interaction, so I just went off with my friend. Hope she was politer to whoever did actually work there. I can only imagine how awkward a situation it would be. I've only had one situation kind of where I was mistaken, but imagine being mistaken twice in an airport. But with that being said, that's all the stories we have for today. So what I want to know is which of these stories was the most interesting to you and why? Let me know your personal favorite in the comments below. And thank you all so much for watching and listening to the Storytime channel. If you haven't yet, please consider subscribing and don't forget to turn notifications on so you'll never miss an upcoming video. Thank you all again for watching and listening to the Storytime channel.